to Jurassic Park.
It's classic movie banter. I tell you what, that little clip brought back some memories for me, Nathan.
Okay.
Do you remember way back in the day, back in the Cretaceous period,
Whoa.
where we were in year one, I believe we started,
Yes.
and
those
we were
very early
given
days.
our first musical instrument,
Yes.
the classic recorder.
I do remember that, Brenton. I do remember getting a recorder in
Now,
grade 1.
It was a seminal moment for myself, as I'm sure it was for you, because it was the first time you were given, a real musical instrument that was yours, that was your responsibility.
That wasn't
to
your
look
voice.
No, that was yours to look after, to clean, and to hopefully learn how to play. I was terrible at the recorder, being completely honest, but it was the thought, I think, that counted. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, I think it's the thought. I think the thought counts for a lot, I don't think I was particularly talented at the recorder. Like, what songs did we learn on the recorder back
Hot
in
Cross
the day?
Buns was a ripper. That was a ripper.
I remember that's like B-A-G, B-A-G, etc. Like, it's pretty much just
B-A-G, B-A-G, etc.
That's literally what our music teacher just
Ladies
said.
and gentlemen, that is how to play Hot Cross Buns.
Oh, what else did I do on the kazoo? I remember being very excited about the idea of, like, octaves. Because, like, when you're, like, 6, you know nothing about music. I remember, like, my music teacher saying, there are 2 Cs. And I'm like, what? Because I thought it went from, like, all the notes was, like, A to Z, right? So, like, after that, it was nothing, Like, there's only 26 notes in existence. And then she's like, no, Nath, there are 2 Cs. And I'm like, whoa. And, like, I remember that. So the lower C, you have to put all your fingers on all the holes on the recorder. I remember that. And then to make the higher C, I'm not sure if this is applicable for all recorders, but you got to, like, have your second finger, or the second hole down, you cover that one, and then you have your bottom finger off the bottom hole, which is
the
normally
bum hole.
covered.
Yep.
Yep, that one.
Yep.
And that makes your high C. I remember, like, as a kid, I would just fuck about with those recorders, like, all the time.
Yeah.
Like, recess, like, driving home, like, funerals, like, movie theaters.
Right.
Like, you wait. I was that little... in Lord of the Rings, how there's, like, that theme on a recorder. Or maybe it's not a recorder, but on a wind instrument that's, like, played through. Yeah. And it's on a woodwind
the Shire
instrument.
theme.
Yeah.
It's fucking beautiful. Yep.
As a kid, I'm like, I'm gonna be that. But I didn't know how to play the Shire theme, so I'm like, I'm gonna do Hot Cross Buns. And my parents hated it.
I'm sure they did. My
quite a
parents
lot.
hated me playing the recorder. I also remember being in music class, and you'd pull out. Our recorders were in a little pouch, like a little. It wasn't leather. It was like plastic leather. It was that fake shitty leather.
Yeah.
Which is fine because it's a recorder and it was protecting it. The pouch was doing its job, Nathan. It was doing its job. So no complaints on that side, but it was shitty plastic. So fuck that. But the kid beside me. And I won't name names because
you should name names, but don't name names.
No, I will not. I will not name. But the kid beside me it was like there was a fungal infection in the fucking recorder.
Ooh.
Like this thing, because you clean it with warm. Was it warm or cold water? I can't remember.
I don't ever remember cleaning it, to be honest
Look it
with
up
you.
on Google, everyone. Warm or cold water to clean a recorder. I don't know.
Send it in the emails.
But this kid, it was like it had a growth inside the recorder, and this kid would always pull the 3 pieces apart and look at me through it like a telescope and be pointing at this disgusting growth that was happening on the inside of this instrument. And then they would suck and blow on this recorder. And, this kid was probably sick all the time. And no wonder. Holy shit.
That's unpleasant to be next to. Like, I remember, like, our music teacher at the time, because we only had the one going through, like, primary school.
Yes, we did.
And she was just like, oh, hey, make sure you never share your recorders.
Yes.
That's just, like, bad news, like, all the way around. Because, like, if you do, like, you're going to just get, like germs and, like, sick and all that kind of stuff. So I'm like, fine. And then I remember, like... once you like graduate from recorders, you get to have the options of other instruments, right?
Right.
Yeah. And so when like you learn other instruments, I remember deliberately not choosing a wind instrument because I'd like have mates who have wind instruments, and they would always be like, "Oh yeah, no, like if you let me play your drums, I'll let you play like my thing." And I'm like, "No. That's not how it works. You can't just share like your like clarinet or your bloody flute because there's like saliva over that."
Share the load.
And it was disgusting.
Yeah.
Like it was so bad. I remember as dares, you'd be like, "Oh, I dare you to like blow Cassie's flute," and I'd be like, "1, what are we talking about?" And then 2, I don't want to blow her flute.
That's unhygienic. Yes.
There's no germ busters on that.
Yes. I remember this kid as well with the fungal growth.
Yeah.
The kid on the other side of... Because we'd have our specific spots in music class in year 1.
Yeah, of course.
And we'd all sit in this square in the classroom. And the kid on the other side didn't enjoy the fungal growth either.
Mm-hmm.
And they asked to be moved.
Really?
They asked to move spots.
A 6-year-old child was like that, like, nah.
Yep.
Whoa.
But the teacher... didn't understand what was actually why the child was asking to move, and just
Can you
thought
tell me that instruction via flute, via recorder?
No, but
Play me your instructions.
as far as the teacher understood, it was because I don't know that kid smelled or something as trivial and stupid as that. So the teacher reprimanded the child for asking to move, because and said that there was nothing wrong with this kid. Even though this child, hasn't revealed what is inside this child's recorder.
Ooh.
And so I remember this poor kid just didn't want to be near the disgusting fungal growth, had to cop this bullshit from the music teacher.
I got, we're not even washing hands before class, you know what I mean? Do you still have your recorder?
I do. I don't have it here with me in Sydney.
Oh, no, I would love it if you suddenly whipped it out.
I would have brought it here today for the episode.
That'd be amazing.
But unfortunately, I don't. But it is back at my old home, in my parents' house. Let's just say that. Yeah, tucked away.
Same.
with my old school shit.
It's gonna make a return, I reckon. Like, we should go to our school reunion when that eventually happens, and just like whip out the recorders
and play some goddamn hot cross buns.
Oh my gosh!
And just imagine it's the Shire theme from Lord of the Rings. Welcome to Classic Movie Banter.
Woo!
Yeah!
Episode 4.
Number 4.
Numero 4.
Oh, yeah.
How exciting. We're back. Live from Sydney. Not live. I don't think we'll ever do this live.
Hey, never say never, Nathan.
Yeah, it's true.
I'd be down for a live show,
Okay.
Just, do it in some basement or something and just do it live.
Really dodgy. I've heard of podcasters like doing like live shows in bars and that kind of stuff, but like I wouldn't want to work. Like I wouldn't want to do a podcast in a bar because I just want to join the audience and be like, "Oh yeah, let's just watch some people talk." And like, "Mate, you're talking." I'm like, "Oh, I don't want to talk." Like I won't take it seriously at all. But yeah, so like how's the week been going?
Oh,
What's you been doing?
the week's been pretty magical.
Ooh.
It's been pretty magical.
Okay, nice.
Not for any particular reason. It's just like I've been feeling the magic, I don't know. It's been a normal
It's been
week.
A Disney week.
It's
actually, it has been a Disney magical week.
Oh, it has for you.
It has because
Yes.
last night I saw Incredibles 2. It's pretty good.
Holy shit, Nathan! Holy shit!
What?
Tell me what it's like. Tell me all about this film because
it's really good.
I'm excited, but I'm also cautiously optimistic.
It's like I don't want to talk about too much. One, because our rule is that we don't talk about films that are younger than 20 years. So I'll give like a vague overview about it. I won't spoil anything, but like...
No, just give your opinions. What do you think?
It's good. It's really, really, really good. I think like the first one is like better only by like a hair strand.
Oh, wow.
Like it's like literally that close.
Wow, yeah.
Like it's really, really good. The plot from all the trailers shows it's about like Elastigirl as opposed to Mr. Incredible. She's out and about, doing Elastigirl stuff. And Mr. Incredible's taking care of the kids. And it's genuinely interesting. I thought like it was going to be very boring, like just watching him be at home with the kids. Because the way the film works is that you have like scenes of Elastigirl, like high action, like her like, beating up, like, saving people and all that kind of stuff. And then like hard cuts to like Mr. Incredible, like back in his house, just like helping with math and then, help screwing up Violet's relationships. And
oh,
like,
shit.
Yeah, I know. It's very intense.
Oh, damn.
And yeah, but it's like it's actually really interesting, and actually he probably has the more like heartfelt storyline,
Right.
So you really feel for him,
Yeah.
and like they use Edna in a really interesting way. They use Frozone in a very interesting way.
Cool.
100% would
I'm
recommend.
very excited to see it.
It's generally good. It's like it's a sequel that justifies its existence. It's
Okay,
not like
well,
a cash grab.
that's good news.
Yeah.
For me, my biggest worry going into this is that I feel that first film is very profound in kind of its message, especially with its villain,
Yeah.
Syndrome, who's like he's the
Can
best.
you not say Syndrome like in a normal voice? Like you have to announce him every
No,
time you say it.
exactly.
You'll
Yeah.
be like a cafe. You'll be talking about Incredibles, and you'll be like, "I love that scene where Syndrome walks in
Yeah.
and he's just."
Yeah. No, he's a fantastic villain because Syndrome's motivations are just very interesting, and it also had a very, I thought, profound message in that sense.
Oh yeah.
And then linking that, of course, back to family dynamics and family life. It was an interesting idea. Yeah.
It was like that's the thing. Like my one big criticism of number 2 is that the new villain, Screenslaver, is like not as interesting as like Syndrome, but there's still a good villain, and like there's a really good villainous monologue where like where, like maybe a third through the film, like they like do like a whole like if everyone's super then no one is. You know when Syndrome like says that?
I do remember.
It's like they have like a monologue like on that level of like, oh shit, you actually are pretty much right. So for that, I would 100% recommend it. I think it's definitely a good time.
Well, I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to see whether this villain lives up to Syndrome. But we're not going to talk about Incredibles today.
No, we're not. Today, it's going to be all about Jurassic Park.
Ba-da-da-da-da.
Da-da-da-da-da.
Classic movie banter.
Because it's a big week for Jurassic Park. It's the 25th anniversary of the film, and it is also there's also a new installment of Jurassic World that comes out next week. So we thought, you know what, since it was the anniversary last week and there's a new one next week, may as well go back to Jurassic Park.
We might as well.
Yeah. Now, normally, like we watch films that we both haven't seen. I have seen the first Jurassic Park because I'm not a fucking idiot and I actually watch films, when I'm a kid.
Like me, who hasn't seen Jurassic Park.
I know how you did it. How the fuck did you avoid Jurassic Park like your whole life up until this week?
I will assure everyone in the audience that it was completely unintentional. I have seen The Lost World. I grew up with... That was my Jurassic Park film.
I love
The
that.
Lost World.
Yeah.
I hadn't seen 3 for a number of years. Until very recently, like a few years ago, I basically skipped through number 3, which we'll talk about. Maybe later. We might talk about the sequels later. I saw Jurassic World upon release when it came out.
Nice.
Which I have feelings about.
Yeah.
But this was my first viewing, and we were lucky enough to see this at a 25th anniversry screening.
It was really nice. We went to Dundee in Newtown, and like they had a whole event for it, and it was really lovely. Like they just, everyone, when the movie started, there was a nice, round of applause, and then. There was children in the audience, so like
that was
it might have been their first time because they were like screaming at parts of it. Like, yeah.
It was great crowd. It was awesome seeing this on the big screen.
Oh yeah. I don't because also like spoiler alert. I've actually not spoiler alert for Jurassic World, but like I have never been to a retro screening before.
Oh really?
Yeah. Whenever I've seen a movie, it's always been like a movie that's just come out. So it's really cool seeing like a retrospective.
For sure.
One. Like
sure.
And it was nice because like it looked beautiful on the big screen.
It did. So with that being said,
Brenton, can you please pitch me this movie?
I can, Nathan. Jurassic Park, released in 1993.
Yes.
Directed by Mr. Steven Spielberg. This is a film that follows the creation of a theme park that has been created to highlight the work of multiple scientists who have managed to clone dinosaurs from the prehistoric era and put them on display for the general public.
Oh.
The park is not open yet. The park is planned to be open in a year from the film's beginning.
So pre-sale tickets.
And yes. And Mr. Is it John Hammond, the creator? Yeah. Who is the creator and the visionary behind Jurassic Park? Invites a paleontologist, a prehistoric botanist, and an expert on chaos theory to Jurassic Park to basically justify its existence to investors.
Yep.
And to investors and lawyers who would like to see the park close due to the obvious dangers of these creatures from the prehistoric period.
It's a raptor.
I don't know. Is that a good pitch?
That's a great pitch, mate. That's out of the 4. I reckon that's my favorite pitch so far. I'm hooked. I want to see it. It's like RollerCoaster Tycoon, but with dinosaurs.
Holy shit! Holy shit! There's a game coming out called Jurassic World Evolution.
I have seen this.
Yes, and it's basically RollerCoaster Tycoon or Zoo Tycoon, or I think there's a Moon Tycoon as well.
These tycoons.
Yeah, but it's basically Jurassic Tycoon.
I'm so playing that. Is that for like iPhone? Like, is that
I have no clue. I'd like to look it up actually. But
I would get around that.
All I want to do is make a little just do little fucked up experiments. Put a little island, put a T-Rex on there, put a couple of a couple of lone wanderer tourists on there, and just see what the fuck happens.
Yeah, that's the best part of RollerCoaster Tycoon. I'd always build a park. It would be like making millions of dollars, be going excellent, and I'd just fuck with the tourists. I'd just,
sure.
I'd crash all the coasters, and I'd isolate them all on a hill and remove the bathrooms, and then just and you'd be like this demonic god just laughing at these victims that have come to your theme park for fun and amusement. There's one thing you can do where you can trap them on this island, and you can put a little merry-go-round there, and they all just want to get off the island, and the only thing they can hear is that merry-go-round music just going around and around
yeah, you look at your guest stats and you just see they're slowly losing their fucking minds.
And you can see their thoughts as well, and they're just I want to get out of here. And also because you'll have and you have the hand of God, you can only pluck them and rescue the select few. So
it's kind of fucked up, that game. It's kind of dark. You can play the other it's that game, and I remember growing up I played The Sims a lot.
Oh yeah.
And I never played those games as they were meant to be played. I'd always find, I don't know even where I found these cheats. But I'd find the cheats that unlock unlimited money. And so all I'd do was design parks, death parks basically, and also design houses in The Sims. And that's all I do in those games. I don't think I've ever really played The Sims as The Sims is meant to be played.
Make a happy life and give them grandkids and all that.
I just think that's an architecture tool as far as I'm concerned.
I have genuine mates who are still in university and they use The Sims for their projects.
That's
I
awesome.
do not fuck with you. They don't submit it for their projects, but they definitely do their rough sketches and designs based on that. It's so good.
Awesome.
It's so good.
There's one. I'll finish this little tangent with the one fucked up thing I know you can do in The Sims.
Yeah.
Is that I believe if you create a person that is really into art and really introverted, there's a way to make heaps of money in The Sims by cheating the game, basically. So you make this person's a real introvert. You design a house with a basement with no doors, no windows, but with toilet, food, basically, the needs to live. And you just leave an easel in there. And this person will create the most amazing art over a period of time. And the family that lives upstairs doesn't know this person exists, but starts just getting checks. Because this art is sold, and it benefits the family upstairs, and this little goblin lives downstairs making art. It's really, really, really enjoyable. But Jurassic Park.
That's amazing. Okay, this can be applied to real life, surely.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. When in doubt, just find an introverted artist and put them in your basement. Oh my god!
So yeah, Jurassic Park. What a film! What a really good film. So, Brenton, the past couple episodes, you and I weirdly have not agreed on a movie yet.
Weirdly, yeah.
For Rocky, House, and Mononoke. So, with this one, how do you feel about Jurassic Park?
Jurassic Park. I can't say it's been a few days since I've seen it for the first time.
Yes,
but I feel confident in saying that this is somewhere, at least in my top 50. If not my top, maybe 20, but I'd have to really think about it and see it a few more times. Films of all time, and that means favorite, not best, but favorite. Yeah.
Oh, that's so good to hear! Yay! High five! We did it. We agree on a film. Look at that! Isn't it great? It is actually genuinely wonderful.
It's fantastic.
It's so good. And I haven't seen the original film for a while. It would have been maybe in my teens, like mid-teens, that I saw it last. And so seeing it at the cinema again, I forgot. It's so well directed, and obviously it's Steven Spielberg, so of course it's well directed, but like it's just the tension compared to like blockbusters you get today is just unparalleled. Like it is like genuinely from start to finish just like a tense thriller, like
Yes.
all the way through. And it's not just like a monster movie. Like it's smart, and it talks about, you know, humans' place in the natural world, and then it also has like scenes where you get like dinosaurs just ripping apart people, and it's just a great movie all around.
Yes.
So like I don't know how many of our listeners have not seen the original Jurassic Park, but like, oh, what are you doing?
Well, you know, they might be like me, you know,
It's
and
true,
have
yeah.
enjoyed the Lost World and just have never known.
Never been
'Cause
that curious.
Yeah, everyone always shits on the Lost World, and
They do.
you know, there's issues in that film I'd agree with, but
There
you know,
are.
I've always kind of enjoyed that. Like, I remember watching that film as a kid, and, you know, loving it. I was obsessed with dinosaurs, mind you.
Yeah.
But watching this, I wish I'd watched this as a kid. Yeah, I wish.
Oh,
It's really sad that
Well,
I
I did,
didn't.
like-
I didn't get to experience this when I was younger.
Because I'll tell you my story. So when I first saw it as a kid, this film like made me literally like horrified for the first time. Like there was literally like a loss of innocence when I first watched this film. It was the first film that I really like. That death for me suddenly became quite real. So like, I would have seen this film maybe when I was like 7 years old for the first time, and like the only films I'd seen prior to that were kids movies or like Disney films that were all like whenever like a person died in a film, it was always like heroically or for some like noble purpose and that kind of stuff. And that's like why you died in movies. But in Jurassic Park, when I saw that, there's a scene where like a character like just runs away from a dinosaur in fear, and then they're hiding, and then the dinosaur just like rocks up and just eats him in like one chomp, and I'm just like I'm like shit. Like little 7-year-old Nathan was like, well, that's not fair. Like he didn't deserve to die. And then I'm like, and it literally, I just remember like lying back on my couch being like, whoa, like this dinosaurs are messed up, man.
yeah,
That's something another the film does with you, because like it makes you go like, oh wow, dinosaurs, like you fall in love with it, because like it takes a while for like the dinosaurs to go rogue, and like it's beautiful, and they're all like, oh yeah, dinosaurs, fuck yeah, and then like next minute it does like a 180, and they're all just like suddenly murdering everyone, and you're like, oh, okay.
I in comparison to the other films as well, what I appreciate about this, even though that there is violence in it and there are human casualties, there's not as many human casualties as in other films. But
No.
but those human casualties have gravitas. like you understand the power and the might of these creatures and the danger of, you know, what these people face, and the problems that arise from playing God and mixing and matching, you know, basically the gene pool to change, you know, the natural course of the world.
Yeah.
And so like those deaths are so memorable.
They're so
They're
good.
so like each of them are so memorable.
They're so unique.
Yes. And
You think like dying by dinosaur would just be like the same way, you just get chomped every time. But
No,
like, I
but-
think of really interesting ways to murder people in this.
But it's strange because I feel like some of the other films in this franchise sometimes maybe, I don't know if glorifies the right words, but let's say that it's in excess. There's lots of dinosaurs chomping, let's just say.
They'll be chomping.
And I feel like in this I felt there was more tension because I think the execution was just better.
It's just so good. Like,
Yeah.
like you really you're holding your breath. I remember like in the audience and like a scene would finish. I remember like everyone just breathing out going,
Yeah.
you just
Yeah.
you forget how in it you get. Like
Yeah, and I think as well the other thing, the characters in this film are just so fucking fantastic.
they really are. You gotta
Yeah.
love like Sam Neill as Dr. Alan Grant. He just doesn't give like a shit about this. He
Yeah.
doesn't want to be there. He's just like, oh fine. And then he like falls in love with the dinosaurs, but then he's like, wait, this is messed up. And I also love how like all the characters acknowledge this messed up except for the guy running the park.
Yeah.
Like, everyone in university is like, this park should not exist. And he's like, but we can have dinosaurs. And he's like, well, you know, like, well, what do you want instead of flea park? And they're like, no, but this is not what you do with this technology. Like in the real world, if like something we could recreate dinosaurs, like holy shit, we can bring back extinct species. Us as humanity would not suddenly go, you know what we should first do with this? Make a theme park.
I don't know, Nathan. I don't know. I feel like that's a very complicated question, and I don't know. I don't think it's that simple to say what humanity would do in that situation.
It's true.
I mean, we fucking split atoms. You know what I mean?
It's true, actually.
Like
yeah.
we've.
But how smart that this film is saying something by saying our first instinct was to commercialize this
Oh,
technology.
yeah, like-
so I thought that was a quite smart theme.
I think it's great, and I think for me, going back to the characters, John Hammond is for me by far the most interesting character in the film.
Absolutely.
Oh,
yeah.
like, my God.
He spared no expense.
What a performance as well
Richard Attenborough,
from
like-
Richard Attenborough.
Oh.
Yeah, rest in peace, Richard.
I
But
know, what a shame he passed.
it's
It's nice because in Jurassic World there's a statue of him, and you're just like, oh,
Yeah. yeah, God, and that screenplay really serves him well, and the other characters, even like the small characters, are
Newman
really
was great.
yeah,
like,
are really well served. Yeah,
they're even like the hunter guy, like the guy who's in
Yep.
charge of security. He's really great. He's like a 1940s movie star.
Exactly.
Where he's just like an old man, just doing his job, and then he just just rocks up and he's just shooting.
he reminds me of not as monstrous, but like Clayton from Tarzan, like in terms of his
It's true.
outfit and
You could see him in the safari. Gear,
yeah,
like,
exactly.
yeah.
But what I appreciate about talking about him is that I appreciate about let's say all the characters as well is that I feel like the later films in this franchise and other films and maybe lesser films would take that character and make them a real archetype.
Oh yeah.
And he is an archetype, don't get me wrong, but usually in the other films in this franchise, the let's say the game hunter person that's in each of these films is one of like the monstrous humans that is out for their own ego and yeah, in comparison, this guy's more concerned with safety and also the safety of the creatures as well, and preserving that. So I think it's I think that applies to all the characters as well. No one's really. There are stereotypes in this movie, but they're fleshed out enough and realized enough that they don't feel that way. Is what I'm trying to say.
No,
Yeah.
I think you have a really, really good point there. And you know what else I noticed watching this film this week for the first time is that you can definitely notice the difference between the animatronics and the CGI. Yeah.
Oh.
Like, people say, like, oh, the CGI in this film was, like, groundbreaking, and, like, it was groundbreaking, and, like, oh, it still holds up, like, I don't think,
I feel.
Yep.
I'm gonna have a contentious opinion here.
Ooh.
I feel, in terms of the CGI,
Yes.
I feel for the most part it holds up, but
Okay.
granted,
Yes.
it doesn't
Alan
hold.
Granted.
It does. Alan granted. Alan. It doesn't. It doesn't hold up when compared to say Jurassic World.
Yes.
But it holds up in the sense that we watch this on the big screen,
Yes.
and apart from the fucking horrible Brachiosaurus,
Yes.
that is the first dinosaur, unfortunately, that we see.
Yeah, right in the middle of the day.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. That's the worst. That is clearly the worst use of CGI.
It's a
in this
shame because
film.
it's the first dinosaur you see as well.
Exactly.
Mm.
But after that, it didn't take me out of the experience.
No, like the kitchen scene, like I thought they were as real as they can be.
Exactly.
Yeah, like all the T-Rex stuff, like, well, that was an animatronic, so
Yeah.
like, yeah.
Those animatronics, though.
Holy shit.
Can we talk about that for a moment?
Oh,
I wish that
You
there was
wish?
more animatronics and special effects in films today.
oh
What
no.
the fuck?
Why?
It's so good.
And like, it's 25 years later. This should be easier. It should be like easier to make these animatronics. And for some reason, you know why? Because it's just cheaper.
Oh, it's by far CGI is so much cheaper, and that is obviously why we
Also,
don't
you can
get
edit
these.
it. Like, you don't have like that
Yeah.
in stock footage. But it's like just doing principal photography. Like,
Watching this and watching like Pan's Labyrinth and you know
Yeah.
other films that utilize these special effects. There's just no comparison. Even some of the most recent Star Wars films as well.
well, that's the thing. When they were
Use-
like marketing Force Awakens, they're like, no more CGI from the prequels. We're gonna use real special effects. These are real aliens on set. And then like when they did it, it shows off and it
Yeah.
looks really, really good.
Yep.
So I'm like, why aren't you doing that for all these other franchises? Like Jurassic World, Marvel is the biggest culprit of this. Marvel has Marvel are literally animated films these days. You go to like a Marvel film or even a DC film for that matter of fact, like they're just all green screen and like. And people gave Star Wars back in the early 2000s shit for this, but I don't know why suddenly Marvel and DC get a pass on this. Maybe it's because like the movies are, well, in Marvel's case at least they're half decent. But like, it's just such a flaw. Like I remember when we saw Infinity War a couple of weeks back. Like, I remember there was just so many scenes. I'm like, this could never happen in real life. Like, you just don't buy it. Like, the CGI just doesn't hold up. Same thing, like, what's the film? Another film we've seen recently? Like, Deadpool 2.
Yes, and I was gonna say, I think another good example is Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them.
Yeah,
fuck
came
that
out,
movie.
like 2 years ago.
God. Fuck that movie.
It's horrendous because we grew up with Harry Potter, and we're just like, and you know, and you'd watch all the DVD extras, like the behind the scenes, and you'd watch these like production designers and all these like artists be like painstakingly you explain their whole process of how they'd make these real practical creature effects, and it shows, and there's a story to it. But then, if I haven't watched the behind the scenes for like the Marvel films that they make today, but I bet it would just be them like walking past a row of computers, being like, oh yeah, we just decided to give Iron Man a shield in this one, and they're just drawing it, and you're like, this isn't it. I want to hold the shield. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's just, and you watch a film like Jurassic Park, and like, it's so obvious that like practical effects they just do it so much better.
When they I won't say that. That's a spoiler. I know this movie's old, and I don't want to spoil it because I know people. But there's moments in the film that you get up close and personal with some creatures, and they're just
is
amazing
this Alan
moments.
Grant becoming a meme? Like, is this like?
Not quite. Which meme is this?
Have you not seen the gif of Alan Grant when he's lying on that dinosaur, just like as it's?
No, I haven't. But I haven't.
Mate, there's some. You know what? Jurassic Park is also well known for its memes. Like, we got to point that out.
Oh yeah, there was a few moments in the screening where people reacted to certain scenes. And I'd seen a few of these. I'd seen a few of these iconic kind of stills.
In the way that we've opened the episode today.
So it was kind of nice to experience that with everyone and see why it is so iconic. And at the same time, I kind of was like, if I was watching this without that, like, would I have the same experience? But then I was like, those stills are just so iconic and sometimes hilarious that like you can't not notice it.
Like I guess mild spoiler, like the water rippling scene.
Oh,
like,
that's incredible.
That is that is like people talk about that today, and it's like so famous because like it is just a great way of directing, just like visually just showing that it's coming with a doom and the little water's rippling doom, and it's so slow, like each character's individually noticing it, and then it's just so good because I haven't seen it in a while, and you're just holding your breath because you know it's coming because there aren't that many dinosaurs in this movie, and like because there are periods of this period. There are periods of this movie where like you'll have a dinosaur, then like 20 minutes will pass, and then you'll get another dinosaur, and that 20 minutes of no dinosaurs is just building and building, and you're just like, give me a fucking dinosaur.
This film has incredible pacing.
Remarkable pacing. Well, Steven Spielberg, like
fantastic.
Well, then again, actually, I've definitely sat through Spielberg films. So I'm like, hurry up.
Spielberg's had his moments, but
that's another thing with Spielberg. Like, I argue he hasn't done a phenomenal blockbuster since Jurassic Park. Like War of the Worlds was fine. Like Ready Player One's fine. Like I don't know. Like what's that one with Tom Cruise running about? It's,
that one's good. Yeah.
Minority Report.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
It's
How
good.
do you like Minority Report? It's so stupid.
I haven't seen it in years, but from memory, it's good. I don't know if it holds up or not.
Oh,
but,
it still doesn't hold up.
It's not, to me, it's not a candle on this.
No, God no. But it's like, and like Spielberg just tries to keep on. But yeah, he's made like 3 iconic blockbusters, which is more than any other director with with Jaws, Indy, and Park.
What about Warhorse?
It's not really a blockbuster. Oh, I guess. But even then, Warhorse isn't that great.
No, it's no.
I mean,
I'd agree.
Do you think it's good? Like,
no, I think it's okay.
It's just.
I don't even know if that's a blockbuster.
It definitely wouldn't make our We Love Animals segment. I'll give you that. Like the Warhorse would not. It's not up there with our other animals. So no. But like, I don't know. Like, it's funny because like watching this compared to like, you know, Spielberg's dramatic work. It's it's funny. This came out the same year as Schindler's, didn't it?
It did. I believe, yeah.
So like Spielberg was huge, obviously after he made. Oh, pardon me, I'm an idiot. He made Jaws, Indy, Jurassic, and E.T. The E.T. was the 4th one I forgot.
Yes.
So he's made these 4 iconic blockbusters. But then like but then this year he had like Jurassic. So he was already huge. But then by making Jurassic and Schindler's the same year, like I think he cemented the fact that he is the like best. You know what I mean?
That he is, He will go down in history as one of the greats.
He will, So no, it's all good.
Let's get into critiques, constructive criticism.
Oh,
let's
okay.
say.
So you have some things that you
Oh,
disliked?
I've questions I raise. I don't know if I dislike them.
Is this for
because
like a non-spoiler or a spoiler thing?
no, this is non-spoiler.
Okay.
This is character centric.
Yeah. Ooh.
Child actors, Nathan.
Oh my god.
I love the little boy in this film.
Yes.
He's great. He's
I'm very interested to hear you talk about this.
He's fantastic. The little girl in this movie is a bit much, which is saying a lot. Granted that this,
and it's so funny because when you meet them, like the little boy's the one chatting all the time, and you're just like, oh, shut up.
But again, like I think that works for the character. But she has a lot of reaction shots, and I can understand why the camera is on her because she is very expressive.
Yes.
And it just got a bit much at some points in this movie, and that's saying a lot because the stakes kind of justify an expression and a reaction, let's say, to some of these events that she has. But at the same time, it's happened 6 times before. You know what I mean?
It's true. It's so funny. I thought you were going to go in the direction of her character's decisions because she does a lot of dumb fucking things in this movie.
I can justify that. Like she seems outgoing and but not in a. She's outgoing, but she hasn't.
They both make dumb decisions.
She hasn't
both killed children.
She hasn't learnt the ropes yet. So she's outgoing and trying to make good decisions, but has never.
But I can't even understand like some of the decisions she makes. I can't even like justify why she at the time would have thought this was a wise thing to do.
Fair enough.
Like, I know like kids can sometimes act dumb, but like. The kids aren't this dumb. Like I'm sorry, but like she does stuff where like it genuinely could have killed everyone.
I will say that being a space cadet child, in the past, that I could probably justify some of the things she does.
I think we'll talk more about that in spoilers.
I agree. But what I will also say is the reason that I'm kind of contentious about saying that is a negative is because I fucking enjoyed it at the same time. Like it's hilarious and. But
I remember at the time just thinking in my head, you idiot! Like you're about to murder everyone here. Like
it's kind of fun, and like she was getting a lot of reactions from the crowd as well.
Oh yeah,
like,
especially at the end when she does that big thing at the very end of the film when she's
yeah.
I was just that almost redeems her because it's so funny and it's so outdated.
Every time she turns her head and pulls that face of "Where's the dinosaur?" It's too good.
It's so good.
It's too good.
I'm surprised that's not a meme out of everything. Like,
I was thinking this girl is a walking, talking meme. Like,
dinosaur movie, the memes.
I feel like I'm gonna use that as a GIF from now on when I send people, things.
When you message me, can you just like send
just
that?
her turning her head to the camera and looking up. And where's the Velociraptor? Oh, so good. But
it's so good. So
but I had something else to say in terms of constructive criticism. Sometimes this, and it's very occasionally.
Yes.
This film's tone is very good.
Yes.
But there's sometimes that there's a joke that either I'm not sure if it's the joke isn't landing, or if the joke is kind of out of place given the stakes.
Yeah, it's not as jokey as films are today.
No, I agree. I agree. It's not like Indiana Jones where the whole point is that he has his quips and it's cheesy and whatnot. And it's not even from the main characters, mind you. Like, say, Ian Malcolm's perfect. Like, there's no, I have no criticisms about that.
Well, you can't criticize Jeff.
Oh,
Goldblum,
I can't because again, it's lived in and it feels justifiable in this world.
Yeah.
But there's a couple moments that I was thinking. There's a few hard cuts as well from memory that I was could have done without that, given like the huge tense scene we just had.
Yeah, of course.
But then at the same time, there are moments where it really hits home with that kind of juxtaposition of comedy from a horrible situation. So that tone works. It's just a couple. There was like 1 or 2 times that I remember thinking could have done without that, and that's very nitpicky. At the same time, I will say,
of course.
But I feel like like I said. This is in probably my favorite films. Whether it's a perfect film or not. No film's perfect, but I feel like that's more of a debate.
Should we rate the movie?
Oh, yeah, man. Let's rate this movie.
Do it.
Nathan, having grown up with this film and watching it again recently, would you recommend Jurassic Park?
100%. Like, you would... Like, this is a film... Like, absolutely, you're on Thursday night watching Netflix and this pops up. Put Jurassic Park on. If you haven't seen it, 100% watch it. Watch it with your kids if they've never seen it before. Watch it with your kids young. Like, definitely let this film scare the shit out of them. Like, let them grow up with this film because it is so good. It's the perfect way to introduce a child to death, I reckon, because it was great for me. And yeah, like when it's a good like date movie if you want to like take a girl or a guy out to the cinema and show them that, or yeah, watch Jurassic Park, especially if you've never seen it before. If you somehow avoided it, like, what are you doing? Like, if you love old movies enough to listen to us talk about them, like, give it a watch. Like, it's so good. Love it. What about you?
As I said before, this could possibly be one of my favorite films of all time.
Whoa.
There was moments in this film that I teared up in, genuinely. Like,
wow.
Yeah,
There you
it was
go.
having a profound effect.
Wow.
And I think that if you haven't seen this, and if you're not into science fiction even, I think this is worth the watch. Give it a chance. Give it a watch. You might be surprised by what you think. Yeah, and my thing is that I'm sad that I didn't watch this sooner. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but now I've watched it.
But now you have. And
This is
what a journey you've been on.
This is one of those films, that's perfect. Like you said, I'll probably watch it with my kids one day because it's a great movie and it deserves that status as classic. Yeah.
Oh, classic.
Yeah, classic Jurassic Banter.
Ooh, I love it.
Ooh, damn.
Ooh, damn. Jumping the
Damn.
title.
Watch it, guys. Like,
Yeah.
please, really, watch it.
All right, man. Let's kick it in. What do you want to talk about when it comes to some spoilers?
Spoiler talk!
Whoa! It's a spoiler! Run!
Run!
Dun, 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 dun. Is that a spoiler? So yeah, what do you want to talk about with this movie? Like, okay, can I just like go back onto what I was saying before?
Sure.
So I know I just asked that, then I answered my own question. So the girl, like, cause like when she turns that flashlight on in the car, like I remember as a kid being like, "What are you doing?" And now as an adult, I was keeping my eye out for it, cause like I wanted to see what motivated her to turn the flashlight on. Nothing. She just like there's a T-Rex there stomping about, and they're all quiet, and she's like, "Oh, you know what I'm gonna do? Just turn this fucking torchlight on and shine it at him, and just see what happens." What do you think was gonna happen?
I agree. I do agree. I remember having a moment thinking, "What the fuck? Why would you do that? That is
Like, you
idiot. That
like,
is stupid." And kind of not justifiable. And is that just there so the T-Rex has a the T-Rex then has a motivation to go over to the kids? That being said, the more I thought about it, the more I thought about myself as a child when I was around that age and the stupid shit I did. Because I was a total space cadet, and I would make decisions and follow through on them in the heat of the moment. And sometimes I'd look back on them and not be able to really justify what or why I'd done it.
Okay.
So I think that when there's that much... I think that pressure is a lot to handle for a child.
Yeah.
Pushing down on me! For a child. So I think... I think that once you're in that zone, and that is happening to a young child, you're kind of in no man's territory of what that kid is going to do.
Yeah,
they're either going to, they're obviously going to have like an internal crisis of sorts.
Yes.
So they might crumble internally and like cry and like be rocking back and forth, or they could just lash out and grab the nearest thing to them, turn it on, and start screaming, and thinking that they're doing something constructive. When in hindsight, they'll probably cry even more because they realize how much they nearly fucked it up. So yeah, like yes and no. Yes, like I agree that. I guess it depends on how much you trust the filmmaker's intentions. Yeah. Whether that was just put in so, oh shit, how the fuck are we? And I'd be interested to know.
Yeah, it's all.
What happened?
I know why it's there. I know like they need to do dumb stuff to move the plot along, but at the same time, like you're just idiots. Like there's so many other ways like a dinosaur could want to eat you. It's just because you're just there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's good examples of this. Like when they all just get in the car and Jeff Goldblum's injured and they're just driving away, and then the T-Rex just busts out, and I'm like, great, that's good setup, a classic scene. They want to get from A to B. There's a T-Rex on their tails. Great, that's good because none of it's character driven. It's just like he's hungry, they're there, go, and it's great. And you can see him be like objects in this mirror may be closer than what they seem, and the T-Rex head's just there, and they're like, shit, like how fast can you drive? And he's like, and he's like speeding along, and I'm like, great, that's good tension. Same thing. The best scene in this movie is obviously the kitchen scene. Or maybe, it could be the scene also where they eat dessert, but putting that aside.
Yeah, no, I'd agree in terms of tension. Like, that was the most tense
I
I
literally
was
looked over to you in the movies because I knew the scene was coming. I'm like, ooh, And I'm like, he's gonna watch it. And then I remember just like, because they're like, oh, T-Rexes will never, like, no, it's like raptors will never find out how to turn doors. And it cuts to the kitchen and the door handle just turns. And I'm like, boom, we're in. What do you think?
I was very into the film at that stage, so I would be interested to know what the hell my expression was. It was probably a bemused expression, and my mouth was probably ajar, like kind of
as
open.
soon as the door handle turned, your face was just like nup. It was just like no, because these two kids are like, oh shit, because I forget how well this is directed, because like the way it's revealed the T-Rexes are there is like the silhouette of the raptor on the raptor poster.
Yes.
Well, when they're eating, because it's a great scene where they're all eating dessert and they're finally relaxing for the first time in the film, and like, oh yeah man, jelly, and they're just all like eating about, and you finally see where the spared no expense money went. And then this raptor rocks up, so they go to the kitchens, and then there's two of them, because you think, oh, it's always been dinosaurs by themselves, and then it goes ooh ooh ooh, and then two raptors rock up, and they're just like, such a good scene.
It's an incredible scene. There's so many of them.
There's so many of them.
And that's why you said it's the best. I was like, yeah, it probably is. Like, from memory, that's when, I felt it in my body. I was so tense. I was like, and I know that part of me knows that this is going to have a happy ending. But the other part is going, this is fucking insane. This is insane.
Like when the T-Rex does first rock up, like what was your reaction when you saw that first T-Rex?
Oh, it was majestic.
It is, isn't it?
It was majestic, yeah.
And that was the scene, by the way, as a kid that screwed me up. Like when the
really?
lawyer is
oh
on
yeah,
the
of
toilet.
course. When the toilet scene, yes.
Yeah, because the lawyer, bless him, he's like the only one who's like helping
kids.
John Hammond and all that kind of stuff. Like and the kids as well.
Yeah.
He's like, where'd you find those goggles? So put them away. They're expensive. Like just classic lawyer. And also, like, this film inspired me not to be a lawyer, because I remember as a kid just being like, man, lawyers are dicks. I was like, I'm not going to be a lawyer.
I gotta say, Ian Malcolm on the Suicide Run, when he grabs that flare and he leads that Tyrannosaurus away.
Yeah.
Oh, props to Ian. Go Ian.
Because Jeff Goldblum's... can we just talk about Jeff Goldblum? Because, like...
What a character. What a character.
So good.
I like him way more in this film than I do in The Lost World.
Yeah, of course, because he's not the main character. He's like it's like a good example of the Jack Sparrow problem.
Yes,
in the sense that Jack Sparrow always should be a supporting character, and when you make him the main character, he's one, not that interesting, and two, like, can't carry a film.
And not even that he should be a supporting character, but the plot just can't revolve around him.
No, it can't.
It can't,
because he works best when he has his 2 cents, and then he just fucks about, and then next scene. Like,
because I remember watching this. I thought he was a lot more layered and a lot more interesting in this film than he was in The Lost World.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. He's great. He's great. Yeah, he's so good. I said, like, you can't criticize him. It's life finds a way.
Yeah. He's great. I love that he continually flirts with Laura Dern.
Oh, so good.
Even though, like, she's so obviously with Sam Neill, but like he's like, fuck it, and then like Sam Neill is just like, oh, you got wives, and Jeff Goldblum's like, oh, I've had several wives, and he's like, depends how I feel. Like, he's just such a player, and like, bless him. And obviously there's that. Yeah.
What's great too is that the film doesn't stay with that though. As soon as he has to grow up, let's say.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean. That moment where he takes that flare and he says, "I'm going to lead this thing away from the kids. You go to them, and I'm going to lead them away." And you see, yeah, he's the playboy. Yeah, he's the cool, mathematician scientist.
Yeah.
Or he likes to think he is.
Theory, man.
Or he likes to think he is. But deep down, when shit hits the fan, he's there.
Yeah.
And he will always be there. Yeah.
He survives that T-Rex, that first T-Rex, like, out of just pure luck.
Yeah.
That, like, he just runs towards the bathroom. He trips and just falls into the rubble, and the T-Rex ends up going for the lawyer. Like, it is absolutely like that Jeff Goldblum survives.
Of course.
Like,
and I'm glad he does.
I'm so glad too. I'm keen to see him next week at the movies as well, when he is in, like, when he's in Fallen Kingdom.
Yeah.
Like,
well, I hope it lives up to it. And
I know. I think the movie's just gonna be fine. I think it's just gonna be a fine movie, but I still want to see it.
Another scene I want to talk about. There's 2 more scenes I wanted to talk about.
Go.
One is the death of. I'm really sorry, but I can't remember this character's name.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the Clayton.
Newman.
Newman.
Oh, okay.
Is that him? Newman,
Yeah.
the guy with the shotgun.
No. So I'm talking Newman as in, like, from Seinfeld.
Oh yeah, no.
You're talking about like old mate with the
Yeah. The guy we were talking about, the game hunter.
Yeah, him. Yeah, that was actually sad. Like,
but also what I love about that character is how cool, calm, and collected he is. in every moment. In every
Oh,
moment
yeah.
of this film. And the only times he starts to really lose his shit is when things are starting to become not so much out of his control, but he sees the chaos theory. He sees where this is inevitably going to lead.
It's
and
true.
he's trying to convince people that they're making the wrong decisions. However, when he's in the shit,
Yeah.
he is so cool, calm, and collected. And you said it before, as he's driving that car, and Ian Malcolm's leaning back onto the oh god, I can't even think, onto the car part that changes gears.
Oh, the gear stick.
Yeah, the gear
Yeah.
stick. As he's leaning back onto that, he says, "You need to calm down, get off that, so I can do my job and get this car going and get as far
Well,
away
it's
as
like a
possible."
T-Rex just charging
Or,
after them.
or when he tells Laura Dern or Ellie, "You need to run for this because they're hunting us now, and I'm going to stay here and I'm going to try and do my best." And he does. And in his final, what I love about his death scene
Yeah.
is when he is found out, and it's set up so beautifully at the start, is that they're hunting you, and like the fact is, when Alan is explaining to the child that when you're looking in its eyes, you realize that there's you don't see the one coming at you from the side in terms of the velociraptors. And when he is about to shoot down that velociraptor, and he hears that stirring in the bushes, and he turns, and there's the velociraptor there. He doesn't necessarily give up in that moment,
Yeah.
but he respects his opponent, and he calmly accepts his fate.
Yeah.
And it's such a great scene.
And he's just like, clever girl.
It's such a good line.
Oh.
It's such a great scene, and it's so well acted.
It is, yeah, well done.
Oh,
Whoever
great
that actor
moment,
is, like,
yeah.
well done, because you just did a fantastic job. But also well directed, like,
Oh.
yeah. And it's good setup too, because when you first meet him and you watch that cow get fucked, I love that scene where you just see it get lowered into the pen, and they're all just staying there, and he's like, "Oh, you gotta feed him," like, and you see this cow going, "Mrr," and then just like rustles in the bushes, and you're like, "Oh, well, that's where the budget ran out," and you can see, and then the cow gets lifted again, and he and then immediately after they all have dinner, it
Yes.
cuts to them all eating, and they're like, "Ooh," but he, when you meet him and he's just all calm and collected, like this has happened like 1,000 times before. Like,
Yeah.
like, I love him.
And he's saying you got to respect these things. They're very smart, and they're constantly testing you, and I've got to be on top of it as possible. But his fear, and unfortunately it happens, is that they will outsmart you.
And they
These
do. Like,
these are beings from a different era, a different world. Yeah.
Great quotes. So yeah, really good quotes mashed together.
Yeah.
I also love. I want to tell you a production story. So
Yeah, go for
when Samuel L. Jackson is killed because you see his arm just fall through.
Did something happen with his contract, or
No, there's a story behind that. So
Right.
initially he was meant to be more viciously murdered. He was meant to die, that movie, 100%.
Yep.
But there was, because Samuel Jackson's spoken very publicly about this. They're meant to film the scene where like he gets mauled by one of the dinosaurs on the way to like where he turns off the power on and off.
Right. Yes.
And they ran out of money. Like the budget just got blown, and
Wow.
so they're like, because they filmed the scene where he runs off, like where he leaves the thing, and like, okay, cool, so he's there, but they're like, okay, we can't film him dying, but he needs to die. So Spielberg went to the props department and they made an arm for Samuel L. Jackson, and like, okay, why don't we just like flop this through and just say he died off screen? And so Samuel L. Jackson didn't know till the premiere.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and he's just like, oh, okay.
But you know what? It's one of those beautiful stories that in collaboration, and when things go wrong on a film, and naturally things have to change.
Yeah.
I think that's the best way it could have possibly gone.
Absolutely. And the
Yeah.
thing is also, Sam Jackson's always been like, I could have survived. He's always been like, put me in the sequel. Like, I just
For
lost
sure.
an arm. I might still be alive. So like, I
Yeah.
mean, he's definitely not alive. Like,
It's Sam Jackson. He will be in every
Oh.
franchise he possibly can.
like
that man.
I would 100%, like if he rocked up in one of the sequels and he's just been on the island for like 20 years and he's just been talking through a cigarette, like I'd be 100% down with it. But
I
like,
would too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
and speaking of him, I love his computer and like how outdated the technology in this film is. Like on when the girl like in the end rocks up and she hacks the system. Oh my god, that hacking, and it's like it's a Unix system, and she's like clicking through, and it's like a zoom through like these like files that are laid out like a city. It's like she's
Yes.
going through like a computer's files, but it's like going through SimCity essentially, and
it's the classic case of a film trying to visualize the art of hacking without. Maybe they understand it, but they're trying to visualize it so that you can understand. And it's kind of laughable in that sense.
Oh,
yeah.
it's so stupid.
Yeah.
But I love it.
I love it too.
I'm watching it too. I'm just like, this is great.
It's fun.
Keep going. Yeah.
The other scene I just wanted to talk about quickly, or character more, as I said, my favorite character in this film by far is Mr. John Hammond.
Oh yeah.
He's so great. He's so layered. He's so egotistical. He's so kind of out of his depth, and he doesn't even realize it.
Mm.
But the scene when he's eating the ice cream, that's a great fucking scene, is all I'm going to say. What a scene between him and Laura Dern.
Mm.
Oh my God. Because it's the moment that he kind of accepts what he's done, what he's created.
Finally.
And the next scene is when he starts to take responsibility.
Mm.
But fuck me. It's so well acted. It's so well directed. It's so well edited. There's no music, I think, in that whole scene.
No. Which we haven't talked about John Williams yet, but like, what a score as
yeah,
well.
no, what a score.
Yeah.
But the use of, again, the screenplay, it's a cheesy line, spared no expense. But the way it's said at the end of that scene is just heartbreaking.
Yeah, I know. Like,
at that moment, it's just a man that's kind of lost what he thought he'd created. Lost
it's
the
poetic,
idea.
isn't it? Like,
Lost the idea of what he thought he created.
Yeah.
He thought he'd really changed the world, and he has, but not in the way that he wanted to or expected to. And now he has to take responsibility of that.
It's true.
And fix the situation.
Which is
as
why
best
he grabs a machete and kills them himself. And that's the sequel. It's John Hammond, Dinosaur Killer.
Yeah. What a character! What a great character!
If there's a little like staff with a little like mosquito thing, like it's like a transformer gun, like it just suddenly like he pops the cap off the mosquito, and suddenly like a 42 like rounder just like pops out and he just starts shooting down dinosaurs. He's like, "That's it, I've gone too far," and he just like brings out the cavalry.
Well, the whole film, it's really kind of sad that his grandkids are in great peril, and he thinks that it's a situation that's just can fix itself.
Yeah. Even late in the film, he's like, "Oh, we'll make this better next time." And Laura Dern's like, "What are you doing?" She's like, "Have you not been paying attention this whole movie?" And he's like, "Oh, but dinosaurs."
Yeah.
And she's like, "Fuck off with your dinosaurs." Like,
it's a great scene.
And he's
maybe for me the best scene in the film. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Actually, yeah, that is a very heart-driven moment because it really shows like his character. Like, I love the scene as well where like he gives a little presentation. In the ride.
That's what I mean. The juxtaposition of that moment versus him at the start is just fantastic. Because I love him at the start as well.
And he's like, "Oh, I have lines," and he's all excited, and he's genuinely thrilled to make this park. Like, he's not just like some like vacant CEO. He's so in it, and I love the little DNA strand, which is also iconic. It's like, dinosaur. How do we make a dinosaur?
I'll tell you how we made a dinosaur.
we just dug and we found a mosquito. And it's like that old Southern hospitality. We're like, don't you worry, child. We're like, with American ingenuity, we did it all. It's like that classic like American dream kind of like.
But it's also it's obviously it's a easy tool of getting a bunch of exposition out to
Oh,
the audience.
quickly.
But shit, it's done well. Like it's
done
really done
the
well.
little DNA is just like bouncing around as all the like the strands of DNA are flying past him. It's like 1 billion codes, and he's like, that's a whole galaxy of code. Like, I love the way he says dinosaur.
Dinosaur constantly. But it's what's cool too is that like that could have in a lesser film, it could have been a moment where basically we just like went in on that second screen and we just watched that presentation as an audience member and just here's the information you need to know. And yes, it's entertaining and it's funny that he says dinosaur, but the fact that it's interactive and it keeps going back to the audience, in this case Alan and Ian and Ellie,
like, why are we here?
And especially John, and it gives it a moment of he's showing his character and how much work he's put into the experience of this place.
Yeah,
not only just the science obviously behind it. Oh, so good.
It's so good.
So fucking good.
It's so good. It's a quality of film. It's a A+ film.
It's a classic movie banter.
Hey. What you gonna do?
What you gonna do?
Should we now then maybe talk about this franchise in general? Like,
sure.
Yeah. So, should we just drop spoilers for all 4 movies? Like,
spoiler alert.
Yeah, spoiler for all. So, so let's just talk about the Jurassic franchise. So if you haven't seen all 4, tough luck. We're going to be talking about all 4 in spoilers. Just about where this movie sits compared to the rest of them.
To be honest, I feel like for you, if you have not seen all of these films, if you've watched this one and maybe The Lost World, I think you've seen the best.
You really have,
yeah.
like,
I think
I don't think you can spoil 2 and 3 that much, but like what Lost World, Jurassic World, you certainly can. But yeah, I mean, so so with this franchise, like, how does this for you actually, Brenton? Because this is so fresh for you. How does this hold up compared to number 2, 3, and 4?
this is the best film in the franchise.
Oh, 100%.
By far.
Yeah.
Yep. There's no question, I think. that
Yeah.
This is by far the best film in the franchise. Because it has a strong message to say there's a reason for this film's existence.
That's true.
And it's not to be a blockbuster and, well, obviously that's part of it.
Yeah.
It needs to be a blockbuster. It needs to have those elements.
Mm.
But the story it's telling needs to be told.
Exactly.
Lost World maybe as well. Maybe. Like, I feel like you're scraping the barrel with that one a bit.
Yeah.
But,
Like, what if dinosaurs were to be like in society, in
Yeah.
a city? Like, yeah.
but after that, I feel like this franchise is running on fumes.
Mm. Oh, 100%.
Especially, obviously 3 is kind of a laughing mess. Like,
Oh, God.
it's hilarious. It's one of those movies so bad that it's good.
It's just like nothing. I have no memory of 3. Like, I've seen all 4, and like, it's
it's
just
boring.
such a nothing film. Because number 2 they bring back Jeff Goldblum, and he has a fun venture with Julianne Moore.
Julianne Moore.
Yeah, who's in this movie for some weird reason. And then like, okay, sweet, that worked kind of.
Vince Vaughn's in it as well, isn't he?
Yeah,
He is.
So,
Yes.
it's so randomly cast. It's very 90s cast, I must
Yes.
say. And then in like number 3, like, also the title for, if we could have some title talk about number 2, The Lost World Jurassic Park. It's the dumbest fucking title I've heard for a movie.
I kind of like it.
Call it Jurassic Park, The Lost World.
Or just call it The Lost World.
Or just call it The Lost World.
Yes.
It's like that. It's like what they've done with Wreck-It Ralph, how they call it Ralph Breaks the Internet, Wreck-It Ralph 2. I'm like, no, you don't put the subtitle after the title. It's like, who's in marketing? Who's doing this?
The greatest clusterfuck of a title I've ever seen is by far
Yeah.
Fan Four Stick.
Oh,
Holy
yeah.
shit.
Oh, that weird trend in the 2000s where they just put numbers in titles for no fucking good reason. Like, Too Fast, Too Furious. I'm just like, just go away.
Yes.
Thank God we've now got that out of our system. But yeah, Fan 4 Stick is,
For me, in terms of watching, let's say in terms of quality order.
yeah.
So I feel like goes in order. I feel like for me, 1's the
Wow.
best, 2's the second best. The debate is the last 2.
See, this is interesting because we are very differently opinioned on this. I really, really like 4.
I hate Jurassic World.
Why do you hate Jurassic World? What's wrong with you? I mean, what's wrong with you? Like,
Because it is
how did it grind
a
your gears?
symbol of what is wrong with the reboot kind of phase that we're in at the moment.
Yeah.
It's a film that does not justify its remaking.
Mm-hmm.
It is trying to be The Force Awakens without. And,
yeah.
And I'm not a huge fan of The Force Awakens, mind you, because of the
Okay.
the reboot itis, let's say.
Oh,
you
so
know.
this is more of a reboot vendetta as opposed to Jurassic World as a single film.
No, as a single film, I think it's terrible as well. Because when I watched this first film, the ideas in it are raw. And by what I mean by that is that these people as artists are exploring these ideas for the first time. And so they're looking for these answers as they're making this film. And there's things that happen in this film in terms of the making of that have obviously then turned out in this film. And it feels raw, if that makes sense. It feels like it's been put together and it's had some meaning behind it.
Mm-hmm.
Jurassic World is just a husk of Jurassic 1.
It's true. It is true. It's very derivative.
From a character perspective, I'd argue there are no real characters in that film. Chris Pratt is likable.
What about
but
the babysitter at number 4?
Oh, fuck
Who
off.
just gets plucked. I hate 4 because it's got Jimmy Fallon in it, and he's pointless in this.
Yeah.
Where he's just on the ball, and he's just like, "Oh, I'm a scientist." Like, I don't know. They gratuitously bring back the original T-Rex, and you're just like, this is not like Chewbacca suddenly coming back. It's like, oh, we have the original T-Rex. I'm like, ugh.
There's one good idea in that movie, and there's that the whole thing is let's weaponize dinosaurs. Correct?
Yeah,
Or,
which is also the dumbest idea I've ever heard in cinema.
It is stupid. It actually reminds me of Goldmember. Let's attach laser beams to their fucking heads. Their freaking heads.
All I want is sharks with freaking laser beams attached to their foreheads.
That's what it reminds. I was thinking of a raptor with a laser beam attached to its freaking head.
If they did that in the sequel, I would 100% be down with that. I would just,
it's ridiculous in concept.
Austin Powers it, yeah.
But that's a different route for the franchise to go down, in the sense
Yeah.
that that's a different question to explore. And I wish that it had stuck to that, as opposed to this bullshit fucking let's basically recreate the first film, but we can't recreate the first film because dinosaurs, kind of recreating dinosaurs is the whole premises for playing God. And that's not enough anymore because we have to justify a reboot. So let's make it that we're creating our own dinosaur. It's not just bringing dinosaurs back, which never just really sat well with me as an audience member. It was kind of, it felt forced. That whole film feels forced. And that's
there
my
are good
whole
scenes in it though.
No, I'll grant you there are good well executed moments. But when you have
like the girlfriend and the boyfriend subplot, like when they're in the control room and he's about to kiss her and she's like, I have a boyfriend. Like, do you not remember that?
I see this.
Okay, there you go.
I don't. I'm sorry. Yeah, I feel like every moment is kind of undermined by these husks of characters that some of them are likable. Some of them are funny lines.
What about the scene where Chris Pratt's like trying to tame the raptors at the start, and like he gets thrown in the cage, and he's like,
well, that was probably the only relationship that was really in the film was him and Blue. But Blue,
which character should have kissed? Like,
yes,
Chris Pratt and the raptor,
yes,
like.
for sure. But that was the only moment. But then again, like Chris Pratt's let down by the fact that I don't know if he's phoning it in that film, but Chris Pratt's got a great likability and a great screen presence. And man, it feels like he's using that to full effect without providing you like a real character. So as opposed to something when he plays Star-Lord or when he plays... Oh, there's another film he's done that...
Passengers?
Oh, even Passengers. He was better in Passengers than he was in fucking Jurassic World. And I'm no fan of Passengers, but...
No, he's great in Lego Movie as well.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Emmett. Oh, so good.
It's so good.
Perfect casting.
Oh, love it. Yeah, so this franchise is like, I don't know, like I'd say one's definitely the best. I'd say watch World. I like World. I don't know. It's because I think it's also the nostalgia of like, you know, the back in the park, and I love like the new details in the park. How there's like a Triceratops like petting zoo, and there's like you know, your water it's like a dolphin park but with like a Monstersaurus or whatever that thing's called. I don't know. I like the little details. Like
sure, but as a film, that's not a film. Go watch those scenes on YouTube or play Jurassic World Evolution. Like really, like
you're not wrong.
Like if there's cool detail, sure. Like granted that world building is great, and there is some great world building in Jurassic World.
Yeah,
get it? but no,
what a joke.
But genuinely there
Banter.
is. But it's as a film, it fails miserably.
Where would you like to see this franchise go?
Fuck, I want to see it exist, sure, because I think there's more. I do think there's more to say.
Yes.
I don't think this is a case of, oh, like, there's nothing more to say, it's all been said. No, there's genuine questions you could raise. The weapons thing could have been interesting, but you got to raise the questions first, man. You can't just fucking show us a dinosaur and expect that to be it.
It's true, yeah, which is the whole thesis of the fourth film. See, that's why I like the fourth film, because I think its thesis is interesting in the sense that what happens when people get bored of dinosaurs? How do you deal with escalation? And I thought that was an intelligent way of approaching a fourth movie, because like it's true, like if like in the same way we get bored of now seeing giraffes, I'm like, people would get bored of dinosaurs. What happens then? And then that leads them to make this whole hybrid of the most horrific dinosaur imaginable. And I'm like, this makes a lot of sense. And, you know, the sense that it's been commercialized to this point, and there's still the flaw of you just not understanding these creatures. I thought that was interesting. I know in the development for number 4, before they settled on this idea, they had experimented with human dinosaur hybrids. That was a direction they were gonna go.
Fuck yes.
Yes.
Fuck yes.
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 Yes. That's what they were gonna do with the fourth movie, and then because they were gonna make it like straight after number 3, and then obviously development happened and it all changed. But I thought that'd be obviously interesting as well. Like, can we use dinosaurs for medicine? Can we use it to help people or something like that?
But see, that's what I want to see, and I want to see. I think that artists have kind of a responsibility. I feel when I watch kind of films like Jurassic World, I'm watching people that have already made these decisions and they've already solved these problems in their heads. When I watch Jurassic Park 1, I see a script and I see a story that's being told to attempt to answer something through the film. It doesn't give you a clear answer. Like, obviously dinosaurs are bad and they're going to hurt people and kill people, and it's not going to have maybe the best consequence to humanity to do that. But it still shows you both sides to to the story.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And like also this franchise, I dislike that this franchise has for some reason had the exclusive rights to put dinosaurs in movies.
Oh.
I know why there aren't other movies just with dinosaurs. This is not the only thing you can do with a dinosaur. Like there's so many stories you can tell with dinosaurs.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Land Before Time. What a banger. Like,
What a yes, we should review Land Before Time
oh,
for
we
sure.
should. You know
Yes,
what?
yeah.
It will probably be around 20 years old. I should look this up.
For sure, man.
Yeah,
That's an old
100%. But also like
series.
I don't know if you've seen the TV show The Runaways. It's a film that Marvel does. They have a dinosaur in that, which is quite good.
Dinotopia.
Oh my
God, yes.
Like, there's so many good things. You know what I mean?
Random thing to bring up that having just brought up this conversation about kind of rebooting stuff and whether it's actually warranted to reboot this franchise or where it should go or whether something has more questions to be asked.
Yeah.
A film I think is actually a fair comparison to this kind of series and where kind of in terms of its themes and whatnot is actually Blade Runner.
This is the second time you've brought up Blade Runner.
I need this.
What is with you and Blade Runner? Like,
I don't know, and like I don't know. I love Blade Runner, but
it's not that good.
Ooh,
fight me.
You need to watch it again.
Fight me.
Which we'll talk about Blade Runner later. But the reason I brought that up is because at least I'm going to bring up the sequel to Blade Runner 2049. Is it called?
Yeah.
That justifies being a sequel.
Yes.
Yeah. So like that brings up new questions in the same world. It delves deeper into the world at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
There's more world building,
Yeah.
has interesting characters, and is able to have a plot that raises interesting questions and themes that feel in that world and is a justified sequel.
Yes, we get it. You love Blade Runner.
But my point is that that's what I want Jurassic World to be, man. I want it to be. I want it to go deeper.
You want them to do a 2049, like Jurassic Park 2049.
Dude, just fucking do it.
They'll rock up on like little flying cars. And
No, but it justifies its existence. It's not this. It's maybe they're just fucking with us. Like maybe it's just meta. Maybe it's just because it's gotten the movie industry's gotten so commercialized that they're trying to point out what's wrong with it, and so they're making a huge steaming pile of fucking shit and just throwing dinosaurs on the screen. Even a new dinosaur that's not a real dinosaur, but it's called what's it called? The Indominus fucking Rex.
Yeah,
like,
that's
fuck
it.
off with that name. It's an awful name.
I don't know why they put the fucking in there, but it makes sense. Like.
But yeah, maybe that's. Oh god, just.
I think you have an issue with commercialism right now, Brenton. I think that's what the root of this is. Like,
it's but Jurassic Park.
Capitalism, man. It's still like society. Like
no. Jurassic Park was a blockbuster. It was a blockbuster, and it was a successful blockbuster.
Yes,
but it was still something doing something new. It wasn't leeching off. What was a blockbuster 20 years before Jurassic Park?
Jaws.
It wasn't leeching. Oh well, hey,
Well,
maybe it was. Maybe it was.
Well, yeah, actually,
but
bring it up.
It was using the genre in a different way, in a different setting, with raising new questions.
Yes, it was an innovative film.
Yes, more innovation, please.
This shit doesn't happen like every day. Like there are very few blockbusters that do what Jurassic Park did. Of course, it's the same thing with Star Wars. It did Star Wars, it did Empire, and then it's done everything since.
But
you know
I feel the blockbusters of today, there's been hardly any innovation, and I think it's really concerning.
That's very true. It's very hard to name. Maybe Fury Road was the last time we saw.
Holy shit!
Yeah,
Fury Road was my movie of the year when it came out.
There you go. So I think that's probably the last blockbuster that's genuinely innovated the art form. It's been 2049. I guess if you count that as a blockbuster, but not.
No,
really.
It wasn't. You can't call that was a fucking commercial disaster. Like
yeah, well, it lost money.
Yeah.
But it's true. Yeah, I think probably Fury Road was the last time.
Yeah,
we saw. But they probably have been. But I just can't think of it
God,
right now.
That movie's good. That movie's so fucking
good.
They made the best.
We should do Mad Max for an episode.
Yeah,
as well.
we should.
Definitely do that.
God, we're coming up with episodes. We're talking about bloody capitalism for
it's
some
true.
reason.
By the way, I just want to point out that Land Before Time. How's this? 1988.
God damn!
It's 30 years old this
Yeah,
year. How
shit.
crazy is that? When did it come out? November 18. All right, maybe for the 30th anniversary, we'll do Land Before Time.
Stay tuned,
We could do
bitches.
that. How exciting. Okay, cool.
I'm sorry to go on a rant, and I'm sorry to get
no.
passionate about it.
Mate, get passionate. That's what this banter podcast is about. If you're not getting passionate, what are you doing?
I just want good movies, man. I want good movies, and I want it
Same.
to live up to
Well,
that.
This is the first film we both said yes for.
Yeah.
We both didn't say yes for Rocky House
Woo!
or One and Okay. So like,
Hey,
look at all that. One thing we must talk about with Jurassic Park is its poster because
Oh damn!
Now, the original poster, is actually quite boring, in my opinion, because all it is, it's just the theme park logo with its slogan in the back with a black background with the slogan "An adventure 60 million years in the making."
I love this poster.
Whoa.
Yeah, I love this poster.
Actually, no. Sorry, I am so wrong, and you're right, because I forget for the marketing for the original Jurassic Park, you didn't see any dinosaur.
Yeah,
They
I think
deliberately did not show a single frame of dinosaur.
yeah.
Because I remember Steve Spielberg was like, well, this is groundbreaking special effects, which it was, and so you had to literally rock up for this movie to see what it was.
Don't blow your load, man. You
gotta
gotta. This is like a great. This just sums up the movie, you know. Like it's kind of tense, like in the sense that like it's promising dinosaurs, it's promising an adventure 65 million years in the making, but it's not fucking throwing it on the screen.
It's true. It's not like a poster from today where there's every character on the screen on the
Yeah,
poster,
exactly.
and they're all just like posing, and it's like all the. No, I like
It's
it.
intriguing, like, and I know this is like
Jurassic Park. Like, what's in the park?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Is it the Jurassic?
Is it the Jurassic? But that's the thing. Like, also, like, I wish movies did this day. It's very hard with the internet, but where you generally cannot find out anything about a film that's about to come out, and if what's a big franchise? Like, if Star Wars today, for example, said, we have just revolution. It's like, let's talk about VR, for example. So let's say Star Wars had said we've now made a film in VR where you are a stormtrooper and you go with these main characters and you go through this journey throughout the galaxy for 2 hours.
You miss everything when you shoot it.
and you watch all this happen with you, and you feel like you are in Star Wars essentially. And if they said this is now out, we've put $200 million into this, just buy a ticket, and that's it. That's the entire marketing. I reckon that I wish there was more of that, where it's like you want to see what this is, buy a ticket. Don't just watch all the trailers and try and work out how the film goes. Buy a ticket, sit down. It's Star Wars. You're probably gonna love it. It's VR. It's gonna be revolutionary. Do it. I wish. See, with Jurassic Park, this poster, it does that. I wish we had more like that today.
Yeah, I agree. I guess it's hard for the marketing departments on these films now to really justify going to the theater.
Absolutely.
That's the whole problem now. It's that because everything's streamed, or it's on a subscription-based service, or it's even just online on iTunes, or on, you pay for it just online and you can download it. And so it's I think they really need to find a way to I guess. I'm looking for a word, everyone. I'm looking for it.
He's literally opening up
preserve the cinema going experience.
You open up that giant dictionary very quickly. Like, the way you're flicking through pages, like...
I've
never seen you look more mad. Thank God you brought the dictionary with you today.
I was having an existential crisis there. What the hell?
But yeah, no, so a quality poster.
Yeah.
And then its title, Jurassic Park.
Title talk. It's not the Cretaceous Park.
No. That's another thing, because like T-Rexes weren't in the Jurassic period. Actually, I might be wrong.
I think
you're
wrong.
I swear they were in the Cretaceous period.
No, I think they're in the Jurassic.
Oh.
Yeah, I think, but it's not the Cretaceous period.
Oh, fun fact, by the way, random thing. Even though we're in title talk, so you know that lizard that attacks Newman.
Oh yeah,
the one that spits the venom and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, great scene. Yeah,
that's still a real dinosaur. Spielberg made it up for the movie. So like.
That's crazy.
Yeah, because you wouldn't have guessed it.
Because now you say that, I read a lot of dinosaur books when I was little. Like, I love dinosaurs, and that I never saw that. But there was a bunch of fucking toys of that dinosaur.
There were.
Because it must have been so popular from this movie.
Because Spielberg was like, I want a dinosaur that spits acid. And then the paleontologist was like, that doesn't exist. He's like, mate.
What you talking about, Steven?
And so he's like, well, I want to do it. And also he loved the Australian animal, the blue-tongued lizard, where like that's the one with like the thing, like the neck like comes out and it's like, and like
it does a thing.
Yeah. And like, or maybe it's the frill neck lizard. I think.
Oh no, frill neck lizard does that. Yeah. But
so
blue tongue lizard
like, fuck it, let's put these two
together.
together. And the paleontologist is like, it's not a real dinosaur. And it's like, yeah, well, real dinosaurs have fucking feathers, so here we are. So like, they did it, and it's great, and I love that dinosaur. So I just wanted to bring up that fact.
Oh my god, I want to see a dinosaur movie where the dinosaurs have feathers. Or like if the BBC produced like Walking with Dinosaurs again.
Yeah.
And they updated it and they all had fucking feathers. Like, I'd be down for
It'd be
that.
interesting because and that's a good thing about Jurassic World because they acknowledge that because when BD Wong in Jurassic World, makes the Indominus Rex and all that kind of stuff, and with one of the characters calls him out on it, they're like, "Oi, like, why'd you make a dinosaur like this?" And he's like, "Oi, if you wanted real dinosaurs, it'd all be covered in fucking feathers."
Yeah.
He's like, "But hey, you wanted a cool looking animal, so I made you a cool looking animal." So even the films themselves acknowledge this is not what a real dinosaur would look like, and I love that. I thought that was smart.
Jurassic World, more of that, please.
Thank you, Jurassic World.
More of that. See, that's a good. That's
What
a
happens
good.
if we watch the sequel? It's all feathers.
It's not about the feathers.
That's what the third installment is called. Jurassic World Feathers.
No, Jurassic World, all the feathers.
That's the name for the third. That's the name for the 6th Jurassic Park movie.
Fuck yes.
But Jurassic Park for number 1. How's the title?
It's good.
It's pretty good.
It's good. Again,
it does
like
its job.
this. What I was going to say before is that this is based off of a novel.
Yeah, it is.
And obviously, I think this is the same logo that's on the novel from memory.
And isn't it like also speaking of the novel, that opening scene for Lost World where like it's a chick who's like on the island.
Oh, the
family
little
holiday.
girl. Yeah.
Apparently that's in the original novel, and so they didn't want to do that for the first movie, so they saved it for the sequel.
Yeah, I think because there's a Lost World novel. I've
Yeah.
never read any of the books, by the way.
I thought that was the first book, The Lost World. Or maybe not.
I thought it was the sequel.
Maybe it is the
I'm not.
sequel.
I think the first one's
Maybe
just
I'm
called
confused.
Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
But anywho, I like that they used the same logo. They kept the title. They did justice to that book, and I don't know from a plot perspective, but it's cool as an homage because don't fuck up what doesn't need changing. Like that's a great title, great logo.
It's true.
Good, go you, Jurassic Park.
Good on you.
You're nailing it.
So, Brenton, critics. What are they saying?
What are they saying?
What are they doing? Let's put a cup next to the ear, put it against the wall, and let's see what these critics are saying.
They're actually in the next room.
Oh, Brenton's a piece of shit. Brenton sucks.
Oh. Hey, it's not surprising.
Oh, man, critics are mean,
Yeah, each to their own,
All right, so Rotten Tomatoes, the site that people think is the be-all, end-all for movie criticism, is giving Jurassic Park a 92%.
Hey,
good stuff. Earns its stripes. So with this, should we see what the critics are saying? So Christopher Tukey from the Daily Mail, he gave it a positive review. He said, "A very welcome memo into Hollywood that blockbusters don't have to be stupid." And it's true. I feel like Hollywood didn't learn that lesson after Jurassic Park.
No.
E.g. the year 2018 we're in.
Evidently, yeah.
No, but it's true. This was one of the rare blockbusters that has genuine heart to it. So
Yeah.
I agree with Chris. Chris is saying good things.
Great little line there. Yep.
Ralph Novak from People Magazine also
Ooh.
gave it a positive.
Ooh.
He said, "Despite the presence of all this acting talent, it is the film's special effects, especially the work of dinosaur supervisor Phil Tippett, that carried the day."
Yes and no.
Yeah.
Just yes and no. I feel like there's still merit in the human counterparts.
It's true. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
just you don't rock off for the dinosaurs.
I
I mean, you
don't-
do rock off for the dinosaurs.
You do
but,
rock
like-
off for the dinosaurs, but I was surprised by how much I loved all these characters,
Oh yeah.
and they're what I remembered.
Same. I want to see them again. I hope
Yeah.
they rock up for the sequels. They're great. Bring back William H. Macy.
Do it.
All right. Another positive. Jim Skembry from 3AW gave positive. He said, "Some things have dated. Sam Jackson wouldn't be allowed to smoke in the office. Everyone would have mobiles. Google Earth would have kept the island from being kept a secret. But the power of the film's pioneering CGI remained strangely undiminished." He's got good points.
He's got good points.
Yeah. I mean, it's true Samuel Jackson shouldn't be smoking in the office.
Yeah,
Like-
true. But in fucking Alien, do you really think in the future it's gonna look like that? Like you know what I mean? Like
Don't
it's
nitpick these
like
things.
yeah.
That's the thing, so many people who review movies, they're just old nitpickers.
Exactly. And as long as the world, in terms of like the world that's shown in the film, because it's not really the same as our world
No.
ever, but as long as there's like a narrative sense to it,
Yeah, you
it's
buy
fine.
it. You
It's
toss it
fine.
aside.
it's fine.
It's a fine.
It's a fine. If we're talking about realism, fuck the phones. There's fucking dinosaurs in this
Yeah.
fucking movie.
And that's the thing. In Jurassic World, when they have mobile phones, in that movie, the mobile phones are always losing reception. So it's
Yeah.
like, there's still, if you're as a screenwriter, there is always a way to still fuck up your characters, no matter how good the technology is.
Do you think Sam Jackson was smoking because they were like, this character, he's so tense and he would be a chain smoker, Or do you think it's just because it fucking looked cool? I'm saying a lot of fucks today. I'm really sorry.
You're really
guys.
dropping bombs, mate.
I'm dropping the F-bombs today. So.
Yeah. I mean, I know we do have that explicit tag on our podcast, so
But today we
can
earned
swear.
it. Well, today I earned it. So yeah.
Welcome to adult world, Brenton. I'm glad you've grown up.
Thanks, Nate.
Oh boy.
Oh boy, it's so good to be here.
It's a dinosaur movie.
Oh my god, it's a dinosaur.
Okay, so Adam Mars Jones from the Independent UK gave it a negative review, Brenton.
Why?
He said, an economic necessity of securing a PG certificate for what is essentially a horror film has been allowed to intervene in the storytelling so that the tone is constantly disrupted by an incongruous reassurance.
I don't think he's reviewing Jurassic Park. Sounds like he's reviewing Jurassic World. Shots thrown.
Whoa. Wow, you're really shitting on Jurassic World here. Nah, the economic necessity of securing a PG certificate. Yeah, like I don't think this film would have been. I don't think this film would have been that better if it was a hard R.
Still, there's a fucking T-Rex. Oh, sorry. There's a T-Rex that chomps down on a human being and rips it in half. So
yeah,
it's pretty. It's
and that's
pretty
still not
violent.
PG.
Yeah,
yeah, that's the thing. Like, I wouldn't mind seeing an R-rated Jurassic movie just to see what they would do with it. Like, if you were in Game of Thrones and suddenly there were dinosaurs, like that would just be like, whoa.
It'd be the same movie, but there'd be an excessive amount of.
It'd just be blood.
It'd be blood, and also maybe there'd be a lot more. Like this podcast, there'd be a lot more fucks.
Like Brenton really wants from today. It's true. So yeah, I guess do what you do. And Kenneth Turin from the Los Angeles Times, he gave it a negative.
Ooh.
He said, "Do the dinosaurs work? Indeed they do. Does anything else? Not really."
I disagree.
Wow, what a witty comment, Kenneth. No, there's a lot more to this movie than just the dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Fuck off with your just dinosaurs critics. No, I'm dropping the F-bombs. Goodness. It's contagious, Brent. Okay, now, this is interesting. So, Jonathan Rosenbaum from the Chicago Reader, he's a really prolific critic. Like, he's up, with the critic circles that we send with Brenton. Jono, it's like, he's proper big.
What did he say?
He gave it a negative. He doesn't like it. He said, "There's more soul to be found in any Kong close-up than in this film's overplayed reactions."
Any Kong close-up?
Yeah, like King Kong.
Yeah, okay.
Look, I agree. I think he's talking about the girl with her overacting and that kind of stuff. But it's not enough to detriment this movie.
No, not the whole movie and the whole cast. Come on.
No. Okay, so the audiences now. What are they saying? Well, CKS gave it a 5-star review, and he said, "Great movie of its time, best one about dinosaurs I know of." I think this is the best dinosaur movie I know.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep.
I'd agree.
Probably, yeah. What about We're Back, a Dinosaur Story? Do you remember that one? Where it's like it's like animated dinosaurs come back to life. It's like an animated film from 1993, I think.
I've never heard of this. God,
no, you must have seen this movie.
No, I've never heard of this.
At every after-school care, this movie is played. It's where these dinosaurs get time travel back into the present day, and it's like, and they sing. And it's like these two kids who work in like a circus or something like that. Like they befriend the T-Rex and has to perform for people. Have you not seen this movie?
I've never heard of this. Yeah.
We're Back, a Dinosaur Story. Tweet at us. Surely, I'm not the only one who's seen this. Like, this is a big movie. Anyway, point is Jurassic Park's better than that. But
what other dinosaur movies are there? There's The Good Dinosaur from
which
I haven't seen it.
That's horseshit.
Yeah?
It's the only Pixar film, even including Cars 2, that I would say is genuine horseshit.
I'll have to watch it I'll probably watch the first 10 minutes and see what it's like.
Film. Oh, Good Dinosaur. It's just like, nah, not a fan. Are there any other dinosaurs? Weirdly, there's not that many dinosaur movies.
Yeah.
Maybe you and I haven't seen a lot. Or
would you count Godzilla as a dinosaur film?
I can see where the argument for your yes would come from, but no.
No, it's a monster film.
It's a monster film, exactly. Yeah. A dinosaur film, there's like a sense of awe and beauty that I don't think you get with, because they used to rule the earth.
Yes.
It's like Godzilla used to rule the earth.
Godzilla isn't a dinosaur. It's a fictional creature.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, sorry about that, CKS.
Sorry, buddy.
Eric K gave it 5 stars. He said, "Masterpiece, great movie, and I really love those animatronics."
Yeah.
Eric's saying good things.
Those animatronics are goddamn fine.
Random with Witten Run G, don't think that's his real name, gave it 4.5 stars, said, "The movie of my childhood and what made me take up an interest in dinosaurs and fossils."
Wow. Yeah, cool.
True. Same with me as well. I remember falling in love with dinosaurs after this movie.
For me, it was The Lost World.
Oh, right. See, that's so funny.
Yeah, it's so weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember. I specifically remember watching that film. It was on TV, I think, at home. and I stayed up late to watch it, and like you, I had a similar experience that it was terrifying.
Yeah.
Because, it was... And Lost World, I think, there's a lot more deaths as well in the Lost World.
Oh, yeah.
People died left, right, and center. But it was the last scene when that triumphant T-Rex was, going through the city, and I was pretending to be a T-Rex in my living room. And I fell, I was jumping on the couch, and I kind of fell onto the couch. And for some reason, there was a pin in the couch, and it stabbed me in the arm. And it was a thing of being a kid. It probably wouldn't have hurt that much. But being a kid is you see something stabbing you, see a drop of blood.
I'm dead.
Yeah, you're instantly oh! And I remember, and then at that moment, it was the moment where the dinosaur gets shot with the trank dart.
Oh, yeah.
So then I acted that it was the trank dart, and I pretended to fall asleep. It was a great viewing experience.
Wow.
My mum really enjoyed it.
Everyone's saying that by the kitchen, what is he doing?
Yeah, pretty much. That was basically
Just
everyone watching me in my childhood. What the hell is that kid doing?
I love it. Conrad A, he gave it 1 star. And Conrad said, "It was a bit too scary for me, so I did not enjoy this movie. Plus, it was too complicated to understand."
Conrad, are you 3? What? That's really...
Yeah, he could be 3.
Yeah,
He's like, "Papa, can you please write a review on Rotten Tomatoes?" And the dad's like, "Sure, son, I'll type it up. What do you want to say about this film?" And he's like, "It's too complicated." And it's scary.
I don't know. Yeah, yes, it's scary. Yes, it's a scary movie.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
It's not the scary movie. That's a whole other franchise.
No. It could be. Oh my god. That's a
crossover that needs to happen.
Let's see that happen. Yeah. But I get that it could be complicated to understand in terms of...
How is this complicated, Brenton?
There's to understand the science behind what's going on, maybe.
That's true, but there's a whole video where they explain the science.
I know, but maybe even then some of the terminology some people aren't familiar with, and it might be hard to grasp.
Can you still spell the word paleontologist? Do you remember in grade 2 where
yep.
you and I will share this memory because in grade 2 you do get your spelling list, all that kind of stuff, and one of the themes of year 2 was dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs, yeah.
And I remember we went to the Brisbane Museum.
We went to the Brisbane Museum.
And we saw the. I'm like, oh fuck yeah, dinosaurs. But I remember we had a spelling list, and you get the words cat and dog and stick and all that kind of stuff. And we got given our list of 10 words, and there was like blanket and floor, and then paleontologist.
Yeah.
And we're like, what?
Yes.
And they're like, learn it, and we're like, we're 7, and the teacher's like, learn it.
Do it.
Can you still spell it?
Just do it.
Do it.
Yes. God. I want to say maybe.
Go.
Okay. P.
Yeah.
A. E. L. E. Oh, I'm lost.
I'm already lost too, actually. You got the paleo there.
N. T. OLOGIST.
Yeah, the tologist is the easy part.
Yeah.
I think it's Paleon. So PAL. I think it's PALAEO. Paleon NTOLOGIST. I think that's it.
I'm gonna look this up
Okay, can you
now.
get the spelling up, and then I'll say it again. This is easily the most important thing we'll do on this podcast.
Oh, this is the most important thing we will have done ever on this podcast.
Yeah.
In our whole 4 episodes. Go, buddy.
Okay, so is it PALAEO? Paleon NTOLOGIST?
The correct spelling for paleontologist is PALEONTOLOGIST.
So I just added that extra
interesting.
A.
I don't know what the fuck I was doing. When I was
ZQY, and I'm like, what?
Starts with an X.
Sure, Brenton. Did you write this critic review? It's too complicated.
It's too complicated.
Conrad A. Did Conrad write 2 reviews? Yeah, Conrad wrote 2 reviews. This is the second one.
Conrad, what did he give it in the second
review?
review?
Conrad gave it 1 star again, and then wrote... Wildlife adventure. It was a bit creepy, I thought, and I was a little scared of it, but I'm not a fan of this movie. How old is Conrad?
I don't know what's
Maybe
going
he's
on
a
with
child.
Conrad.
Maybe we shouldn't be laughing at him because he could
No,
be a
it's
kid.
all right, Conrad. Hey, you're entitled to your opinion, Conrad. You're even entitled to give 2 reviews for the same movie.
Yeah, go for
But
it. Actually, your opinion does change over time. So maybe he just like months passed and he's like, you know what?
I need to go back and watch this thing again. And he was like, it's still 1 star, dude. Yeah,
people make me laugh.
you do you, Conrad.
Last of the audiences, Adrian A gave it 3.5 stars, and he said, "This movie's entertaining, but it really stinks how it ends. It should have ended when the T-Rex roared."
I know what he's talking about too. That moment when they are in the what is it called, the main hall or whatever, and the T-Rex
hall,
comes in and saves the day,
yeah.
and when the T-Rex roared, the credits should have rolled.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's what they're saying.
That is what they're saying, yeah. And also one thing I also wanted to mention was I love this doesn't belong anywhere, but the boy from the main Jurassic Park, I just want to give him a huge shout out. So the child who played the boy in the first Jurassic Park, he now has a Twitter account.
Ooh.
And he does this thing, Brenton, where he posts as his character, but like years on. So it's been like 20 years since like the first one or whatever, and so he just like posts now and then like, oh, had a nightmare about dinosaurs, had to see the therapist today. And then like a couple of weeks pass and he'll tweet again. He'll be like, saw a dinosaur on a toy just then, had flashbacks. Like,
That's awesome.
If you look him up, I forget his name, but if you scroll through his Twitter feed, it's just like all just like PTSD. And he's like, I hear they're reopening the park again. Bad move. Like, it's so good.
That's so good.
So
we should tweet him.
We should tweet.
Yeah.
Oh, we should actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell him to listen to this. Give him a huge shout out. So speaking of twittering, if you want to see some quality tweets, definitely give Brenton and me and the show a follow on Twitter. You can see all the handles in the description.
Yes, please. At CMB Brenton.
And at CMB Nathan.
Get on it.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
CMB, you can guess what that stands for.
Yeah, I gave a little hint the other day, by the way, as to
Ooh.
what this episode was going to be.
Ooh.
I don't know if you saw it. It was a GIF of Barney the dinosaur. And I said that Barney would enjoy this week's episode. So Barney, I hope you enjoyed it. Barney, I love you. You love me. We're a happy family. With a great big hug and a kiss from me to you. Won't you say you love me too?
That's really great, mate. You should be a poet with that.
No, it's all Barney. It's all Barney the dinosaur.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Yeah, so if you want to get a hint of what we're going to be watching next week, because we normally just make it up as we go along. We normally either look at your tweets and like when I say you, I don't mean you, Brenton. Fuck off with your tweets. I mean the audience. Yeah, if you want us to talk about a movie that you love, just tweet it at us or email us. But yeah, if you do want to know what we're watching next week, I think I know what we're going to watch next week.
Oh, do you? Do you have a sneaky suspicion? Do you?
I think I know what I want us to talk about next week.
Okay, cool.
It's about a director we should cover very early on with this podcast.
Okay.
Ooh. Because we've done Spielberg, so there's another icon we got to cover.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
But yeah, so. If you want a hint of that, definitely follow us on Twitter.
Yep.
And yeah, if you're on iTunes or anything, give us 5 stars, give us some comments. If you want, like, by all means, like, give us 1 star if you hate us.
You audience. Yeah, feel free to rate how you see. But any feedback, it really helps us out.
We love it.
Yeah. We do love it.
I know when someone told Brenton to change shirts for when he records, he changed his shirt.
I did.
So
yeah.
we
You don't know this.
No.
Being this an audio,
but it's relevant. For
an audio
this.
medium. But
absolutely.
But it did happen.
It did happen. Yeah. And so Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
What a banger.
2 thumbs way up.
2 thumbs way up.
Go watch it. Yeah.
Give it a good watch.
Yeah. Give it a good watch.
Yeah.
Watch this over Jurassic World. Definitely.
Yeah.
Because fuck Jurassic World.
Oh, go for your vendetta.
I do.
Imagine, wait. Did you hear that?
What? Get the light shining at it! It's a T-Rex! Ah!